it's always interesting when you have a show that kind of introduces themselves. Like you have characters who have to introduce themselves as part of the story too. So, did you guys kind of practice how you wanted to be? Scared, awkward, it kind of clouded in your mind as you kind of introduced yourselves to all these people. Like, how did you foresee, Amy kind of rolling her out?
Luckily, that was one of my audition scenes. I think I played it. I think at that point, Amy is quite trusting of everyone. I think I played it in a way where she was quite pensive because obviously she's very sad about the situation, but here's the information about us. I don't think she holds anything back there. And I think that was the right way to play it because then I got the job, right? So yeah.
End results matter. I go with that too. And then when it came to Dan, of course, all these characters have many levels, but I guess the best way to start would say he comes off a little cringe. Am I right? Is that the best way to put it? A little bit? I don't know. Is that maybe that's just me? I don't know if I'm putting that on Dan. I don't want to do that.
I would agree.
You did agree, actually.
I
You say
did.
this all the time. You are cringing me out. And I'm like, well, if it's cringe, then it's probably insincere, and if it's insincere, then it's
It's
probably a
great.
lie.
Yeah.
So what's most interesting about Dan in episode one is what he doesn't say when they're all in the circle and they're all like, "So I'm here, I'm a doctor," and Dan's like, "Yep, yeah, cool. I ain't saying anything about myself." And I think that's really interesting, and it just adds to the mystery and the intrigue, I think. So yeah, I mean, your instinct's probably correct. Cringe, but we'll see. We'll see how that develops.
Now I want to ask too. You have both these characters, and they already had some mystery too. What was it like when you actually got to place them in like the jungle atmosphere? Having to kind of bring them into this world now, because you can, of course, do the audition and have it, but then you add like another layer of like, okay, now you need to feel this, and now you need to understand this too.
I mean, what made that much easier was the setting itself. Like the set they built was so incredible. It felt so real. You had real things coming to life and biting you in there. Uh, that and I guess it's actually very fun playing around with that, right? You really have to get into the mindset of like, God, if it was me, how would I survive in here? And I think the more I thought about that, the more I felt quite sad about it. And I think that lent itself into playing Amy. Yeah.
And then one of the fun things is just the title. I mean, the ability to say nine bodies in a Mexican morgue. When you were telling friends about that title, how do you explain to them? Okay, yeah. Well, it's not the beginning to a joke, nor is it the end to
Yeah.
like a gore fest. Like, how did you find that balance when you're trying to explain it?
Well, I think you just hit the nail on the head. It elicits a question. And that's the show. It's all about intrigue and mystery. And that title, you go, the hell is that about? And I like that.
Of course, I do want to ask too. How did you guys kind of like? Did Anthony kind of put you all together in a room before? How did you guys start to connect, or did he keep you all kind of separate before you guys got together? Like, how did y'all get thrown in together pre-crash? Let's say.
Gosh. I mean, there were like opening drinks, obviously, before you start a show, but we all naturally got really close to each other really early on. It helped that some of us were neighbors. So me and Adam like lived next door to each other. Um, yeah, I don't think they purposely kept us away from each other or close. We sort of just did that ourselves.
So there wasn't any method acting where you're like, I'm not talking to you. I don't want to know who you are. Like,
No.
I want to stay away from you.
There was none of that, but there was some of like half the cast didn't want to know who the killer was, and they wanted to play it as if they didn't know at all. So there's a lot of like hush hush on set.
Yeah, there was real like mystery and whispered conversations behind plants from the actors as well, because we weren't allowed to just openly discuss the ending.
Yeah.
Understood. Well, I thank you very much. I hope everyone in your worlds is happy and healthy, and we'll make sure to talk about this with everyone. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Right.